I'm a fan of Superman. Have been for most of my life. He's an iconic character. He's a thematically rich character. He's a genuinely good, decent person. In 2013 I went to see the film Man of Steel, and I hated it very quickly. And I still hate it. In the lead up to the release of Batman vs. Superman, I actually watched Man of Steel for the second time in my life, and almost 100% certainly the lost. It's an awful, awful film, and I think that there's this feeling I get that the reason that the sequel to Man of Steel is Batman vs. Superman is because Zack Snyder or David S. Goyer, or both, had no faith in the Superman story that they'd told, and maybe Warner Brothers had no faith in it either, and so they just sort of jammed Batman into their film, because everybody loves Batman. Batman's easy. Batman's an easy character. He's just a guy like us. Ignoring the fact that Superman was raised as a guy just like us, and Batman is a billionaire playboy. Ignoring their relatability. The reason I bring this up is that Man of Steel isn't just a bad film. It's genuinely evil. It's an actively contemptuous, amoral film. It is legitimately amoral. It's not like Zack Snyder said about discussing moral gray areas. It is literally bad. It has a black core. In 2013, I remember sitting in the cinema. I wasn't very excited for it because I'm not a big Zack Snyder fan. I enjoyed 300 enough. I liked Watchmen until they screwed everything up, less than halfway through. Just really dumb choices. But I was not looking forward to his take on Superman. But I wanted to give it an honest go. And that was the same thing when I watched it the second time just recently. I wanted to give it an honest go. And it failed me. I was enjoying the Krypton scenes. I liked the oil tanker scene. It's exciting stuff. That's good. And then the core comes out. It's a little scene. It's not an action scene. It's well before the big famous bad stuff. It is well before Superman snaps General Zod's neck. That's bad, but it makes sense in the context it's given in this moment. It's when a bus full of school children that Clark Kent is in plunges off a bridge into a river, fills with water. Kids are all heads above water, they're all about to drown, and Clark pushes the bus back up the riverbank, leaps back in a moment later and saves Pete Ross, who a moment earlier had been making fun of him. Cut to his father telling him off for saving them. Clark, we've been over this. Clark looks at his father and he says, "What was I supposed to do? Just let everyone drown?" And Pa Kent, played by all-American, everyman, Kevin Costner, looks up and goes, "Maybe." The answer is no. The answer is not maybe. This isn't, son, sometimes you're going to have to accept that you can't save everyone. Son, sometimes you have to understand that collateral damage is going to happen, but you have to be as prepared to prevent that as you can. This isn't, sometimes villains are going to die. This isn't, sometimes you're going to have to expend your energy beyond what you think are your means. Sometimes you're going to have to take morality into your own hands. That's not what he's saying maybe to. He's saying, son, sometimes, for your own sake, it's okay to let a bus full of innocents die. For your own well-being, for your stupid secret, maybe it's okay to let a bus full of children who have done nothing wrong and who are caught in an accident and who you have the power to save die. This is possibly the worst message ever delivered in a film. This isn't a moral quandary. This is an actual statement of contempt for human life in a Superman film. You want a moral gray area, watch Sam Raimi's Spider-Man. The Green Goblin is holding Mary Jane in one hand and a cable car full of kids in another, and he drops them both at the same time and he tells Spidey to choose. This is an impossible scenario, and of course Spidey saves them both because that's what he does. He's a hero, and you know what? This moment in Man of Steel colors everything else in the film. It's why he has no idea of the sanctity of human life. It's why he has no understanding for why he needs to protect people. Not just beat up bad guys. Not just, fight his own petty wars. I'm a big Superman fan. Have been for most of my life. I remember watching the first Superman film as a little boy. Certainly not in 1978, but on television or on a video, and I loved it then, and I love it now. It's one of my favorite films. It hurts me in ways I cannot even describe that there is a Superman film out there that is so actively contemptuous, not just to the character, but to its audience, and to humanity at large. It makes me weep. I want to like Man of Steel because it's a Superman film. But it isn't. I've seen Triumph of the Will. I know what I'm talking about when I'm talking about evil messages in movies. Man of Steel is in the same sort of area. I'm not seeing Batman vs. Superman. I don't think anyone should, honestly. If you see it because you want to see Batman and Superman in the same movie, you've fallen for this trick. You've been duped. Because Zack Snyder doesn't care about Superman. He's not interested in telling a Superman story. If this is what he honestly believes, then he's one of the worst people in the entire world. If it's not him, it's David S. Goyer. Maybe it's both of them. Snyder's on record as saying that the reason that he had Superman snap Zod's neck is because he needed to kill someone to know that killing people was wrong. He's been on this world for 33 years. He's been through school. He's had jobs. He's had interactions with other humans. And he doesn't know it's not okay to kill people until he does it. I've never killed anyone. I'm fairly certain I know that it's wrong, and I have no intention of ever killing anyone. I'm just saying, I don't think that we should support this. I should be excited that there's a film where Batman and Superman share the screen. And there's a film with Wonder Woman at all. And I'm not excited. I'm sad. Because the same contemptuous beast that made this awful, violent, nihilistic, brutally ugly film in 2013 is still at the helm in 2016. And from all of the trailers and from all the early reviews, he's made the same thing but bigger. Don't support Batman v Superman. Don't go see it. Don't give in to your curiosity. You know, tell DC you deserve better. That you demand better.